Hello there you guys, welcome to another one of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current and latest news. So if you do consider drop your likes, and if you do consider subscribe to the channel as always. So some more transfer rumours is currently some more transfer rumours is currently updated in the media. I do want to give you a current update today on this current video. This is in relation to Koulibaly. Obviously, Manchester United have been long admirers of Koulibaly of course as well, and obviously we've been linked to him for the past couple of windows of course as well, but reports have been coming out saying that reportedly Napoli are demanding that they want around £150 million for Koulibaly reportedly. So that's reportedly Napoli's asking price for their player. So this potentially means Manchester United have got to make Koulibaly the third most expensive player in history of football, if we are potentially to come to an agreement to get him this summer of course as well, because obviously the most expensive defender at the moment is obviously Virgil van Dijk for £75 million. Obviously the three most expensive players in world football at the moment is obviously Neymar, Mbappe and Coutinho of course as well. So Manchester United must reportedly make Koulibaly the third most expensive player in world football, if we can get him this summer of course, and obviously making the most expensive defender in world football of course as well. But reportedly it did say yesterday we're having a bit of well, because obviously, back in January, Manchester United, were in talks with Napoli over getting a deal online. Napoli, where we looked to offload him, and Napoli, weren't willing to do any bid, even though in the process, Manchester, the reason, we had turned down was around £65 million higher for the player. Sorry guys, but I just went off. We do need a world-class centre and all that, because we haven't had one, since we had the likes of Vidic and Ferdinand and all that as well. And we do need someone, that can go alongside Victor Lindelof, of course, as well. And Koulibaly is a world-class centre-back. He's very, very good in the air. He's 27 years of age, so he has still got a lot of years ahead of him, to be quite honest with you as well. And we do need to address our defensive deficiencies, and Koulibaly, would be fantastic indeed. And obviously, he's still under contract with Napoli till 2023. His performances under, Maurizio Sarri were very, very good. Now his performances under Carlo Ancelotti very, very good indeed as well. So I think a player of his calibre, he wants to play at that highest level, and it would be good for him, to come and experience the Premier League, to be quite honest with you as well. But even though recent reports, did say that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, obviously wants around 4 signings this summer, of course, as well. Recent reports actually said earlier on this month he wasn't like interested in buying any defenders this month, of course. In the summer, sorry, should I say, wasn't interested in buying any defenders. He was focusing on more attacking additions to the squad, was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course, as well. So I think Solskjaer's priority, as it did say, and Manchester United's priority, is to focus on getting a right winner to Manchester United this summer, of course, as well. But obviously, Koulibaly still remains on our radar, of course, as well. So reportedly, we're going to have to pay staggering amounts of money. We have got the financial power to meet Koulibaly's and Napoli's, valuation, of course, as well. Because reportedly, we're going to get around £200 million to spend this summer, of course, as well. And obviously, we didn't invest, back in the January transfer window. I know overall we spent a lot of money, since Alex Ferguson retired and all that. A lot of money's been invested on, we've seen players come in and we've seen players go and all that as well. We've had different managers, with different types of philosophies and mentalities and all that as well. But I think, Koulibaly, would be fantastic. Him and Lindelof as a centre-back partnership, would be fantastic indeed, because we know mainly Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, since Smalling's recovered from injury, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, has been going with Smalling and Lindelof, and to be quite honest with you, since Smalling has recovered from injury, I think his performances have been pretty good, to be quite honest with you. I think him and Lindelof, have been blending in very, very well together. But I think if we get a new centre-back in the summer, I think Rojo will be out of Manchester United in the summer, so I think Rojo's leaving Manchester United this summer as well, because he's enjoyed a very, very difficult time as a Manchester United player, with a string of injuries he's suffered, and obviously, struggled to get a run of games under his belt, as well as Marcus Rojo. And Solskjaer did basically say that he wants Manchester United, to sell 3 players this summer as well. And obviously, Rojo was mentioned in one of them as well. And obviously, Eric Bailly, could possibly leave in the summer as well, because he's been in and out of the team this season, even though I do highly rate him, and he's got great potential as Eric Bailly, to be quite honest with you as well. But we do know that we do need a centre back, an experienced one, and we've been linked to with a host of centre backs. So if we don't get Koulibaly this summer, we've got other alternative options, of course, as well. So reports have been coming out saying that Napoli want around £150 million for him. Actually, initially it did say 130 million yesterday, but the Metro's just reported now that they reportedly want 150 million pounds. So if Manchester United could come to an agreement to get him in the summer, this would make him the third most expensive player in history of football, and obviously would make him the most expensive defender in world football as well. But we do need someone to come in, to address our defensive deficiencies. Even though we have improved defensively since Solskjaer's come in, but we definitely need a centre back, of course, as well. And obviously, other centre backs, Manchester United have been interested in, and we do know reports have also, been coming out about Harry Maguire, as well, from Leicester City. Of course, he's 25 years of age. Is he, or is he 26? Sorry, he's 26 years of age. I think he just recently turned 26. Harry Maguire. Reportedly, Solskjaer, wants Manchester United, to go for Harry Maguire in the summer as well. Solskjaer wants Manchester United to go for him in the summer. Reportedly, he will cost around £65 million in the region. Will Harry Maguire as well. But reports do currently say that Solskjaer has actually told urged the board, and he's told Ed Woodward, to go all out, to sign Harry Maguire this summer, as reports have been mentioned. Obviously, I think Harry Maguire is open to the move because obviously, in terms of his wages and all that, Manchester United have got the financial power, and we can afford, to double Harry Maguire's wages as well. And obviously, he's Premier League proven, because he's been at Leicester a couple of seasons now. But I think he's a player that wants to play at the highest level. Harry Maguire, he's a player that wants to be, he wants to go, play for a team, that's capable of challenging for trophies and winning trophies and all that. And he's not going to do this at Leicester City, and he's obviously that experience this at Leicester City as Harry Maguire. Obviously, he signed a 5-year deal last summer. With Leicester as well, did Harry Maguire, so he is under contract with Leicester until 2023, of course, as well. And obviously, he was one of our targets last summer, when Jose Mourinho was in charge. And obviously, Jose Mourinho didn't get the signings he wanted because obviously, we just didn't get him. And, obviously, the board weren't backing some of his signings, he wanted to get in him and all that as well. So, and obviously, that was one of Jose Mourinho's targets, was Harry Maguire as well. But obviously, Leicester were reluctant, to let him go last summer, of course, as well. And he is English and he's only, 26 years of age, so he has still got a lot of years ahead of him as Harry Maguire. But reports do say it will cost, Manchester United around 65 million. Of course, he's obviously an ex-Hull City player, and I think at that time Manchester United were linked to him. He's also an ex-who else? He's also an ex-Sheffield United player as well. He actually began his career with Sheffield United, did Harry Maguire as well. So Manchester United have potentially, been linked with him as well. And we do also know, guys, that reports have been coming out, in relation to Rafael Varane, of course, as well. And reports have been coming out about him from Spain and all that, and France, I think, saying that he's reportedly told his teammates that he does want to leave Real Madrid this summer, reportedly, Rafael Varane. But reports do say he's still happy with Real Madrid, reportedly, Rafael Varane as well. But reportedly, it did say, he was considering his future at the Bernabeu, but he hasn't remained loyal, at Real Madrid, for a lot of years now, because he has been at Real Madrid a lot of years. He's grown, developed and flourished fantastically well, and he's a world-class centre-back, and again, I'd love Rafael Varane at Manchester United, of course, because he reads the game very, very well. There's areas of his game that he adapts fantastically well, he reads the game well, he shows that ability to play out from the back and all that, and what he's achieved, Rafael Varane has been absolutely incredible indeed. He must have won about 15, 16 major honours as a Real Madrid player, Rafael Varane, and of course, he's only 25 years of age, of course, as well, so he's been at Real Madrid since 2011, Rafael Varane. I think this is his 8th season now in the process with Real Madrid. I think he's made about over 200 appearances in all competitions as Rafael Varane as well. He does have a release clause, I think, in his current deal, of around £431 million, something like that. He is under contract with Real Madrid till 2022 as well. But Manchester, he's been a potential Manchester United target as well as Rafael Varane. But he spent the majority of his playing career in Spain with Real Madrid, of course, as well. I know he began his career with Lens, in France, did Rafael Varane as well. But I'd love him to come to Manchester United as well, but Rafael Varane's probably unlikely, to be quite honest with you. Probably still cost us maybe just under 100 million, if we were to go get Rafael Varane in the summer, of course, as well. But the host of defenders we know that Manchester United, of course, have been linked with, obviously. Obviously I think Koulibaly, that remains number one, but Manchester United are going to have to pay a substantial amount of money, to get Koulibaly this summer. And Napoli have basically, made it clear. Napoli president has made it clear. Napoli themselves has made it clear they want around £150 million in the region. If Manchester United have got any chance of getting Koulibaly this summer, of course, as well. It would be good for him to experience the Premier League. He's never played in the Premier League. He was discussing about before, that, he was committed to Napoli, he was happy at Napoli, but he did admit he was still happy, that he was attracting interest. And there's been a few teams interested in Koulibaly. There's been Madrid interested in him. There's been Barcelona interested in him as well. But we know that the rumours have been going on. The rumours do continue to persist, with Koulibaly linked with a move to Manchester United as well. And other defenders, that Manchester United have also been interested in as well. We know that, Toby Alderweireld has also been mentioned in the media as well. And as I did say, I wouldn't want Toby Alderweireld at Manchester United, even though he is Premier League proven, so he's good in that aspect, is Toby Alderweireld. Reports are coming out was it last week, something like that, saying that Tottenham are resigned to losing Toby Alderweireld, to Manchester United this summer. Reportedly, it did say Manchester United were the favourites, reportedly. It did say Man United have expected to sign him this summer, due to his refusal to sign a new contract, with Tottenham Hotspur as well. And obviously, we know Toby Alderweireld is going to be available for a reasonable fee this summer, of course, as well. Obviously, last year, Tottenham activated a 12-month extension. Obviously, they included a release clause of a low figure, of £26 million. And, to quite honest, Toby Alderweireld can be a world-class central defender, of course. He's been at Tottenham quite a few years now. He's well Premier League proven, but he's aging up now. He's not too long ago just turned 30 years of age. He has lost that yard of pace, of course, as well. But we know Manchester United, were linked with Toby Alderweireld last summer, of course, as well. So there has been talks about him going on as well. But as I did say, guys, I think, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, is going to get the Manchester United job on a full-time basis, of course, as well. Obviously, based on what he's done so far, his progression's been absolutely fantastic indeed. He's got the team rejuvenated. He's got the team playing in the right vein, in the right manner, which is very, very good. And you can see that the structure of the team's right as well. And he's following Alex Ferguson's philosophy. He's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and he has brought the fear factor back to the club. But I think Solskjaer's obviously, already making plans for the summer. He's already been discussing, the club's summer transfer plans as well. Obviously, he's been in negotiations, with the Manchester United board, what players should come in, what players should go in the summer as well. I do think Solskjaer knows what players he's going to get rid of in the summer, because he's obviously blatantly already told Ed Woodward, to be quite honest with you as well. But obviously, it is essential, that we do get into that, we want Champions League football for next season, of course. So obviously, we either win the Champions League, of course, win the Champions League, automatically get into Champions League for next season, or if we don't win the Champions League, try it and finish in the top four, because, there's quite a few teams, going for that top four now, of course, as well. As I did say, we're going to get around £200 million spent in the summer. We do know, obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer hasn't got a great managerial pedigree, as we all currently know, in terms of like winning any major honours. He hasn't really, had any long tenures as manager so far as well. But obviously, he had two separate spells with Mould as manager. He had a short tenure with Cardiff and all that. Only managed the Manchester United reserve team for a couple of years as well. But if he is to get the job full time, obviously, I think he'll be thinking ahead of the next 5 or 10 years. So he'll plan for a long tenure as Manchester United manager, of course, as well. But obviously, he'll only be a cheap alternative anyway. He'll only cost us around £7-8 million. That's the only compensation we'll have to pay, to get Ole Gunnar Solskjaer on a full-time basis, of course, as well. And obviously, he's a great player for 11 years. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he had 11 great years under Alex Ferguson, of course, as well. He flourished fantastically well. As I said, he won trophies, he scored goals. His iconic moment, obviously, his most iconic moment was in the Champions League final in 1999 as well, when we won, of course, won the treble as well. And, one good finish, when we do go against Barcelona at the Nou Camp, it's going to bring back so many memories for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course, as well, which is very, very good indeed. We still know that possibly, Manchester United, of course, we still know that, reportedly that Manchester United are reportedly, still looking at the possibility of Pochettino, and all this, and, Ed Woodward, still may want Pochettino, reportedly, but now reports do say that Manchester United, have cooled their interest in Mauricio Pochettino, reportedly as well, and reportedly now, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is set for permanent contract negotiations, meaning that, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's agent, is set to, have negotiations, with Ed Woodward and Manchester United over a permanent contract for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course, as well. So it did say maybe in the next couple of weeks, talks will, begin, of course, as well, of, Solskjaer getting a permanent contract, of course, as well. But Pochettino, for me, I don't want him at Manchester United, because obviously he's going to cost us a lot more money anyway. We'd have to pay a compensation of around £35-40 million to get Mikel Pochettino to Manchester United. Plus, he doesn't know Manchester United inside out, like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer does, to quite honest. So he is well Premier League proven, his Pochettino, of course, he's done a good job with Tottenham, he's good at growing and developing young players, he's got more managerial experience, than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But again, Pochettino hasn't won out in terms of silverware, as we all currently know as well. He only signed a 5-year deal last summer, with Tottenham as well, did Mikel Pochettino. Obviously, his record at Tottenham's very, very good. He's won over 100 odd games. So in terms of how many games he's won and all that, and his statistics are really, really good. He just hasn't proven himself in terms of winning many silverware. And his record was very, very good. When he was Southampton manager as well. Pochettino, and obviously he's been managing all in all since 2009, of course, as well. But I don't think Pochettino's any intentions of leaving anyway. He's happy at Tottenham, and I don't think Daniel Levy would let Mauricio Pochettino leave. But we know for a long time he has been Ed Woodward's number one as Pochettino, of course, as well. But for me, definitely Solskjaer the right man for Manchester United. Even though we suffered back-to-back defeats, before the international break, it is essential, that we do get back to winning ways, of course, after this international break, of course. But obviously we've done really, really well, especially considering the amount of injuries Manchester United have had, considering that we didn't invest in the January transfer window. And it's good to see Solskjaer, the young players, gaining trust off Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well, which is very, very good to see. It's good to see him giving the young players the chance, the fringe players the chance, which he did say he'd do anyway, when he came into the club, of course, as well. But yeah, I've given you an update on the transfer rumours, of course, as well. But I think Solskjaer is keen on getting a right winner, so he wants to ride forward to Manchester United this summer, of course, as well. And we do know the main priority target is obviously Jadon Sancho, of course, as well. As they have been updating you on a regular basis in relation to Jadon Sancho, of course, as well. Obviously, Borussia Dortmund player. He's only young. He's only 18 years of age, as we all know as well. But reports have been coming out, saying that reportedly Manchester United officials have meeting up with Jadon Sancho's representatives reportedly as well. So it did say Manchester United's officials meet with Jadon Sancho's representatives, over a 70 million summer transfer reportedly as well. And reports have been coming out saying that Manchester United, I've identified him as a number one summer target, reportedly as well. Because I think he'd be a good addition, if he came to Manchester United, Jadon Sancho. And I think he does want the Manchester United move. And I think he did say he would prefer the move to England over France, because reports were coming out saying that PSG have also expressed an interest in Jadon Sancho as well. But as I did pinpoint out, it would be ideal, for Manchester United, to get a couple of young players, that could grow, develop and mould under Solskjaer, because it does seem to be at the moment a lot of the experienced players, that are causing Manchester United the problems as well. But I think it'd be a great addition to our team. And as I did say, do you think Jadon Sancho would be the solution to Manchester United's problems? And I'd say, yeah, straight away, he's definitely, the right player, I think, to come to Manchester United, of course, as well, because his performances for Borussia Dortmund have been really, really good. He's been at Borussia Dortmund a couple of years now, of course, as well. He's still under contract, with Dortmund until 2022 is Jadon Sancho as well. But reports were coming out saying that, Manchester United, we believe that we could land him for around £80 million. Reports were coming out saying that, Borussia Dortmund demanding that they wanted around £100 million for Jadon Sancho as well. And this potentially means if we could come to an agreement to get him in the summer, this would make him the most expensive English footballer ever, of course, as well. Only broke into the England first team last year as well, Jadon Sancho, as I currently said. But he's been at Borussia Dortmund, a couple of years now. Borussia Dortmund, paid around £8 million for him from Manchester City, of course, as well. He did serve a couple of years with Man City. He never got into the first team with Man City. He never got guaranteed regular game time at Manchester City. This is the main reason he departed City and went to Borussia Dortmund, of course, as well. And obviously began his youth career with Watford. But since he's gone to Dortmund, he's grown, developed, and he's flourished, fantastically well, indeed. But we do know he's not going to come cheap. But we do know we have got the financial power again, to meet his valuation, of course, as well. So we'll probably have to pay in the excess probably of around £100 million, even though Man United have been negotiating with his representatives over a 70 million summer transfer, of course, as well. But financially, Borussia Dortmund, would make a huge profit on the player. But I think Borussia Dortmund still know how much of a central player he is to their team as well. But I think it did say Manchester City would benefit from this. It did say reportedly City would get around 15% of the transfer fee or something like that, because I think, they inserted a buyback clause on his current contract term as well. But he's only young. He's nearly actually 19. Is he 19 now? Or he's nearly 19 19, Jadon Sancho, of course, as well. So I think he's having his birthday today, or his birthday's coming up, of course, as well. But he's very, very young, indeed. So he would be good, if he could, come to Manchester United in the summer, as well. But Manchester United have been heavily linked to him, and quite a few teams have. He's attracted interest, from quite a few teams across Europe, as well as Jadon Sancho, as well, and. We know other names, other players, that Manchester United have been linked with as well. And we do know that we're keeping traction on that Joe Felix, as well as I've been updating you on a regular basis. Joe Felix, that young Benfica player, only 19 years of age, of course, as well. Joe Felix, he's got a buyout clause of around £105 million, I think, as well as Joe Felix. Reportedly back in January, there was a narrative going on saying that Manchester United, were linked, with Joe Felix. Quite a few other teams, were interested in him as well, because he's mainly a winner, but he can play in other positions as well, so he is versatile. He's yet to make his senior debut for Portugal, only broke into the Benfica first team last year, as well. But Manchester United have showed an interest in him. I think also Liverpool have showed an interest, Chelsea have as well. Manchester United have held negotiations, with Benfica over Joe Felix as well. But Man United have instructed scouts, to keep a close eye out on Joe Felix, because his performances have been really, really good indeed, as we all know, as well. So he's a potential another target, who's been mentioned in the media as well. And we do know who else Manchester United have been linked to. We do know that also, too, Coutinho has also been mentioned as well. But he hasn't been a priority for Manchester United, as we all know, as Philippe Coutinho, of course, as well. And I don't think Manchester United are keen on signing him this summer, even though, Barcelona are not going to, recoup the initial £142 million they paid for him from Liverpool, of last year, of course, as well, when they got him. Because obviously Barcelona got him in January of last year, of course, well, because Barcelona paid £142 million for him. And since he's gone to Barcelona, he's enjoyed a very, very difficult time. He's failed to make an impact. He hasn't fitted under Barcelona's system, and he struggled as Philippe Coutinho, of course. And this is why there's been speculation of him possibly departing Barcelona this summer, of course, as well. And obviously, the rumours going on in this January transfer window, of course, that's gone, of him leaving as well. And a few teams were interested in him as well. Man United have held negotiations. We was in negotiations with his representatives, back in the January transfer window as well. And I don't think Manchester United are keen on signing, to be quite honest, even though Solskjaer is keen on adding depth in our midfield, to be quite honest, because Coutinho is an attacking midfielder. He can also play as a winger as well. And he's still got a long contract with Barcelona. He's been there, 14 months now, or something like that. But he's been very, very disappointing indeed. And, he was really, really good at Liverpool, because he did, to be fair, have 5 great years with Liverpool, did Philippe Coutinho. But I think reports coming out before saying that he's spoken to some Manchester United players, regarding the move to Old Trafford this summer. And, he wants to make the move back to the Premier League and all this, as he did currently say as well. But Manchester United, I don't think, are interested in signing Coutinho. But as I was saying, the main part of this video is about Koulibaly. I wanted to give you an update on reports are coming out yesterday saying that Manchester United are preparing, to put a huge bid in for Koulibaly, reportedly. Now reports are saying that initially Napoli want £150 million for Koulibaly. So this potentially means, they're going to make an absolute huge profit on the play. They'll make about £143 million, profit on the play, considering they paid £7 million for Zinchenko. It might have just been under £7 million, if I'm right. But this obviously means if Manchester United are willing to pay up to £150 million in the summer, this is obviously, going to make him the 3rd most expensive player in world football, and obviously, making the most expensive defender in the world as well. And obviously, the most expensive defender at the moment is obviously Liverpool's Virgil van Dijk, who Liverpool paid £75 million for. So you could see, in that aspect, they addressed their defensive deficiencies fantastically well. Liverpool got Van Dijk in January of last year, of course. He has been at Liverpool now over a year as Virgil van Dijk, of course, as well. So obviously, if we are willing to pay £150 million, we are paying double, than what Liverpool, paid for Virgil van Dijk, of course, which was £75 million. And as I did say, players are going to leave Manchester United this summer, of course. Valencia is on his way out of Manchester United, as I said. He's been a long serving at Manchester United. This is what his 10th season now with the club. He's made over 300 appearances in all competitions, as well as Antonio Valencia. But, he's lost his place in the team anyway, because we do know that Ashley Young is our first choice right back. And I did say that right hand side needs addressing. We need someone young and ambitious on that right hand side, of course, as well. But Valencia is on his way out of Manchester United, because we opted against the decision, to give him that new 1 year extension, of course, as well. And obviously, at the moment, he's out with a calf injury. We've got Young there, who's obviously our first choice right back, of course. But I think, obviously, by the time his contract, comes to an end, his 1 year extension that not too long ago he's just signed, when that expires players, he'll be nearly 35 then, with Ashley Young, of course, as well. And he's been here, 7, 8 seasons now, of course, as well. And I think Paul Pogba as well is set to be the new Manchester United captain, as reports were saying a while back, in the summer as well, because Valencia at the moment is, but obviously he's leaving in the summer more than likely. So I think Paul Pogba, will be getting handed it as well, and he does deserve it, based on his fantastic performances. As I did say, Rojo's on his way out of Manchester United as well. Solskjaer wants to sell 3 players this summer, but actually more than 3 could leave. But I think Rojo's on his way out. I think Darmian's on his way out as well. Again, enjoyed a difficult time as a Manchester United player. Matteo Darmian as well. So I think he's on his way out of United. Sanchez definitely on his way out of Manchester United as well. I think he's on his way out, this summer, to be quite honest with you, even though he's been here just over the year. Alexis Sanchez, of course, as well, and when he has been given the opportunity, Sanchez, he's looked so restricted. It just looks as though he hasn't been getting the freedom, Alexis Sanchez, to be quite honest with you, as well. So I think he's on his way out, and I know it's going to be hard to find a buyer for him permanently, because obviously considering his substantial wages, he's currently on Sanchez, which is obviously over £500,000 a week, of course, as well. And he has been here just over the years, and he's suffered a string of injuries, since he's been here. He's obviously out now, with a knee injury for 4 to 6 weeks. Well, he said this after the Southampton game, when he suffered it against Southampton, he's going to be out for 4 to 6 weeks, with Sanchez as well. So I think his career at Manchester United is getting from bad to worse, to be quite honest with you as well. So I think he's age 30 now anyway, he has lost that yard of pace, as we all know, and obviously he's struggling. He's been really, really struggling. I can't believe how inconsistent he's been, because he wasn't like this at Arsenal, he was actually really, really good at Arsenal, to be quite honest with you, but he hasn't been doing it at Manchester United, as we all know. And when he's been playing, the team's been playing pretty bad, when he's been playing, it just shows how ineffective, Alexis Sanchez, just emphasises how ineffective, Sanchez has been, when he has been playing of course. So Man United may have to consider loaning him out in the summer, or, unless, Sanchez, may even willing to take a wage cut, to leave Manchester United this summer, of course. Well, and Solskjaer's lost faith in him, and he has lost trustworthy in Sanchez, of course, as well. So players are going to leave in the summer, without a shadow of a doubt. But I've already identified, the areas we need to strengthen up. We need a centre-back. Koulibaly would be fantastic. If we don't get Koulibaly, maybe try and get Rafael Varane. And there's other options, with, being linked with as well. We need someone on that right-hand side without a shadow of a doubt. Jadon Sancho on that right wing would be fantastic, indeed. He'd be very, very good in that attacking third of the pitch. He'd provide good pace out wide with Jadon Sancho, so he'd be a perfect addition, to come in the summer. Maybe I think we need a CDM, that's fast and tenacious as well, in my opinion. I think we're okay on the left-hand side, because obviously that's where the majority of our attack is coming from, the left-hand side, to be quite honest as well. So on the left-hand side, I think, we are okay. And as I did update you the other day, as well as I did, guys, update you in relation to Ander Herrera, of course, as well. I give you an update on him as well, didn't I? Because reports were coming out the other day in relation to Ander Herrera. It were actually saying that reportedly PSG had expressed an interest in Ander Herrera, reportedly as well. So it reportedly said PSG had expressed an interest in Ander Herrera. I think Ander Herrera wants to stay at Manchester United. There was some reports saying that reportedly he was close to joining PSG, as Ander Herrera. But then recent reports coming out saying that, coming out of ESPN and all that, basically saying that reportedly Ander Herrera wants to stay at Manchester United. He's keen on signing a contract extension, with Manchester United as well, because this is what his 5th season now, is it, as a Manchester United player? Is Ander Herrera, of course, as well. And we do know how much of a consistent player he's been for Manchester United, and especially under Solskjaer, he's been fitting in that midfield trio very, very well alongside Matic and Pogba, which is obviously, mainly been Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first choice trio in midfield. But obviously, recently, with the string of injuries Manchester United have had in, recent weeks, obviously, this is, with the injuries we've had, it's obviously given opportunities for the fringe players, with the likes of, he's given the chances to the likes of Pereira and, Scott McTominay, and to be quite fair, they've been impressive, indeed, to be quite honest with you as well. But Herrera, Manchester United, and Manchester United have been in talks, of getting Ander Herrera a new contract now for quite a while, to be quite honest with you. And I think he's still keen on signing an extension with Manchester United, of course, as well. So in his tenure as a Manchester United player, there has been times, where he has suffered rough patches as a Manchester United player. and he was lacking game time. But since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's come in, as I said, he's been regular in the team. He's been playing a bigger part in the team. He's improved as well. He's breaking up the play very, very well. Of course, he's under Herrera as well. But he did say actually, PSG, we're planning to get him this summer, on the free transfer. Obviously when his current contract term expires at the end of the season. And he did say reportedly Paris Saint-Germain were willing to offer him a 3-year deal worth around £150,000 a week as well in wages, as he did clearly mention. But I think we'll be okay because I think Herrera does actually want to stay at Manchester United. I think from PSG's perspective, they're obviously identifying Ander Herrera as a replacement for Adrien Rabiot, because obviously PSG are looking to add depth in their midfield, because obviously Adrien Rabiot looking likely he's going to leave at the end of the season, when his contract comes to an end, and it was looking likely for a long time that Adrien Rabiot was going to join Barcelona. But there's actually been a few teams interested in Adrien Rabiot, but actually obviously he's been withdrawn from the PSG squad, as we all know. Obviously he's refused to sign a new contract term, of course, as well, so he's on his way out at the end of the season. He's still young. He has spent the majority of his career with Paris Saint-Germain as well as Adrien Rabiot, but he's still only young. But PSG have identified Herrera as a replacement for Adrien Rabiot, but I think Herrera is happy to stay at Manchester United. Solskjaer, fantastically well indeed. I know he's just recently had a hamstring injury as well, but on about that as well. And obviously in relation to Pogba, as I've been updating you about Paul as well, he was coming out the other day saying that dreams of playing Zinedine Zidane like Real Madrid, justified Real Madrid as a dream club, and all this, did still be there with Paul. As I was saying, guys, sorry, it's just me that's going down. But yeah, I think Paul Pogba remains happy at Manchester United, because we've seen the best of him, since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's coming. We've had three great months under Solskjaer as well. And Paul Pogba's been very, very influential indeed. And hopefully, somewhere along the line, we can come to an agreement of getting him a new contract, because his current deal ends in 2021. So hopefully, somewhere along the line, Manchester United can, arrange to meet, his agent, Riley Owen, and discuss a new contract for Paul Pogba, of course, as well. And obviously, it did say, Zinedine Zidane, is obviously planning for an investment this summer at Real Madrid, because he just recently returned back to management at Real Madrid, and he signed a contract at Real Madrid till 2022, of course, as well. And I do think, obviously, Zinedine Zidane has actually urged Real Madrid, to try and go sign Pogba this summer, and, to try and open up negotiations with his representatives, and all that, as well. But I think Paul Pogba, is happy at Manchester United, even though he has been speaking recently, a lot about Real Madrid, with his desire to play for them and all that, dreaming about playing for them, of course, as well. But obviously, we do want to keep Paul Pogba, because he's getting the best out of Solskjaer. Solskjaer's getting the best out of him as well, which is very, very good indeed. So yeah, as I wanted to update you mainly on this video is in relation, to Koulibaly. As I did want to give you an update on some reports have been coming out, yesterday night. Didn't really get time to do a video yesterday night. I was going to do, but I didn't get time. So yesterday night, it did come out saying that Manchester United are told to pay around 130 million. That's what it said in the Daily Mail. And now today, reports coming out saying that Manchester United are being told they must pay up to the 150 million. So it's between 130 and 150 million, basically. We reportedly have to pay it in this summer if we have got any chances of landing our top target, Koulibaly, of course, as well. But as I did say, the rumours do continue to persist, as we all know, as well. But as I did say, if we were to pay 150 million pounds in the summer, this would obviously, make him the third most expensive player in history, in world football, in history, as well. And it'd obviously make him the most expensive defender in world football, of course, as well. But obviously, he'd be fantastic. He'd be a great leader in our back line, if he was to come to Manchester United, of course. So I don't know what will happen. I think, recent reports did say before he was happy with Napoli, but he did say he was happy, that he was attracting interest. Obviously, last year he was actually, involved in some racial abuse as well, back in December of last year, Koulibaly. But yeah, world-class central defender indeed, and he's one of the best, when he's on top form, to be quite honest. And he's been at Napoli since 2014, so he has been at Napoli, a number of years now, and he's been fantastic indeed. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes, channel, if you do consider subscribe to my channel, as always, and take care.